Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. Today on the program, rebuilding begins in Marawi.
I hereby declare Marawi City liberated from the terrorist influence that marks the beginning of rehabilitation of the city.
And from the war on terror to the fight against fake news, a senator seeks to penalize peddlers of wrong information.
We have been pushing for this anti-fake news for quite some time, and unfortunately, I have to admit, I was so disappointed last hearing doon sa mga resource persons natin, no, na parang lahat sila lang ang magagaling.
And as the investigation on the death of Atio Castillo continues, how close is the Senate to uncovering the truth? Senator Joel Villanueva joins us live. And later, take your next date to a whole new level. Bring your special someone under the sea. That's for today's In Focus.
This program is presented by Bank of Commerce, an affiliate of San Miguel Corporation.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Pinky Webb. After President Rodrigo Duterte's declaration of Marawi City's liberation, followed by the defense chief's announcement that combat operations in the city are over, the government is now in full swing to rebuild and rehabilitate the war-torn city. But do we have enough capacity to help Marawi get back on its feet? And also, from the battle zone to the digital space, a lawmaker wants to put a stop on the spread of fake news. Let's go straight to the source of the story. Senator Joel Villanueva, sir, finally. Good to have you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, and it's great to be here.
It's nice to have you. We're looking at Senate Bill 1492. I'm sure a lot of people are really looking forward to this, but kailangan natin siya himayan. An act penalizing the malicious distribution of false news and other related violence, otherwise known as the Anti-Fake News Act. When I read your bill, sir, and I want to be honest, my first question was, why was there no definition of fake news?
That's a very good question, Pinky. I've been going around and talking to judges, lawyers, and in fact, just last week, I met with some judges in Bulacan, and they told me it is the right thing to do. You don't define what fake news is in your bill because you give the court the leeway to realize if this is indeed fake or not. In any court trial, you are always looking at two sides of the coin, whether this is true or not. Laging ganun eh. Ito ba yung totoo? Ito yung hindi totoo. Now, what we did in this particular measure that we are proposing is that we define and came up with the 4 elements. The 4 elements must be present. The first one is that yung operative word here is the malicious intent.
Okay.
Malicious intent to publish, to offer, to circulate, to spread fake news. Number 2, it's printed, broadcasted, or posted. Number 3, it causes chaos,
panic,
division,
violence.
panic, violence, hate, etc. And number 4, which is very important, you have the full knowledge or at least enough knowledge to know that this is fake. This is a lie that you're spreading.
Okay, so sinadya mo, to be clear about it, sinadya mo na hindi magkaroon ng definition of what fake news is to allow the courts to make a judgment call on what fake news is. So I said hihimayin natin to because I know a lot of people are interested in this. I want to go to the first part that you said because you said 4 elements. I'm going to put that up on the screen. It shall be unlawful for any person to maliciously offer to publish, distribute, circulate, and spread false news or information. My question here, Senator, is the word malicious.
Yes.
How does anyone prove na naging malicious ako sa ginawa ko?
We can borrow the and look at the guidance of the court here. No, when you interpret the word malicious in other felonies penalized in the revised penal code. When you talk about malicious, ang interpretation ng court po dyan is that there is no good intention, no justifiable motive why you are doing this. And again, as we mentioned earlier, the 4 elements must be present.
Okay.
If one of the 4 is not present, you are not liable to this fake news bill that we are espousing. Pinky, I think the other issue here is that is there an overlapping with libel and this fake news that we are talking about? When you talk about libel, the act punished is the publication of malicious imputation of a crime, vice, defect, act of circumstance, which injures the reputation of another person. Again, act punish is the publication of malicious imputation. No? Dun sa pin-espouse nating bill,
Okay.
the act punish is the malicious offering, the publication, distribution of fake news. Now, sa libel,
Ganito.
you can be convicted, Pinky, sa libel, kahit totoo yung sinasabi mo. Sa fake news, if it's true, you cannot be... truth is an absolute defense.
Yun ang difference.
Yes.
Because that's where I wanted to get. Sa madaling salita, ang difference ng libel at fake news is, sa libel, kailangan totoo, sa fake, kailangan fake. Ganun ho ba?
Well, not necessarily kailangan totoo. Sa libel, it's act punish is the publication of a malicious imputation of a crime. Yung sa
ba sa
libel,
Tagalog?
truth is not an absolute defense even if the material is true.
It could be true, it could be not be
because
true.
you are, parang yung ano mo dun is wasakin yung reputation, siraan siya, yun lang talaga. Unlike dun sa fake news, pag totoo yung sinasabi mo, it's an absolute defense because it's not a lie. So yun yung gusto natin gawin. But remember, Pinky, and I also wanted to put this on the table, this is a work in progress measure and we are not in any way forcing everyone to believe and supportahan nyo to and in toto, ito na yung ipapasa natin. No, that's why we are hearing, that's why we are
Getting
consulting
stakeholders also
yes,
involved.
just recently, Pinky, a
Did you have a
couple of
meeting
days
with
ago,
the
I had a
KBP?
meeting with the high-level officials of kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas, and I'm so happy to hear their views and very interesting yung mga inopen up nila sa atin.
So, okay. So, nandun tayo dun sa first part, yung unlawful. Yung question ko dun was the malicious part of that bill of yours. Because just to give our viewers a little bit of a background on this, your bill is actually about maybe just 3 pages. Maiksi lang siya.
Yes,
So, the second one is, pagkatapos po nung una kong minention is, or cause the publication, distribution, circulation, or spreading of the same in print, broadcast, or online media. So it encompasses everything.
Yes, one issue that was raised during my meeting with the KBP is the fact that in KBP they are very strict in regulating dito sa TV and radio. Sinasabi nila, so bakit kami isasama dito when you are somehow pinpointing in the past couple of weeks and months yung proliferation of fake news in the online media. So bakit sila sasama? Ang problema natin pag hindi sila sinama is yung equal protection naman. So it has to be universal. Another issue is yung why not just amend the Article 154 of the revised penal code, which is it was just revised and signed into law last September, I remember, by President Duterte, the RA 10591. Sabi doon, unlawful use of means of publication and unlawful utterances. Penalties will be imposed on a person who will publish false news by passing it off as legitimate news through print or other publication methods. When they mentioned about it, binasa namin gusto, pinag-aralan, we discussed it. For example, yung fines na aresto mayor, etc. Pero meron nakalagay doon na word na may. So yung may, sabi nila parang it's dangerous. Sabi ko, see, but during that time, no one actually objected.
Well,
and now it's signed into law.
There's a little bit more sensitivity. And as you say, even laws or executive orders are scrutinized eventually. That's why you try to make them stronger and better.
We should really participate.
Okay. Tapos the last one, which you mentioned, the third and fourth element, provided that such false news or information cause to tend. This is, I have a big question mark on this. To cause panic? division, violence, hate. Kasi hate lang is, if you say something about me, it's very subjective that it causes hate, I would say that. Yeah. To discredit, the fourth one, to discredit one's reputation and the person knowingly, alam niya, commits such an act with full knowledge that such information is false. In other words, naglalabas ako ng impormasyon kasi alam kong fake siya, pero nilabas ko pa rin.
Yes.
So, it's subjective, isn't it? Because I can just say, but Senator, I did not know that news was false.
Somehow, yes, but if you scrutinize all the elements, remember, one element na hindi present, baliwala na yan, no? Masisira ka na. So, kailangan all four is there, is present, no? Will be present. Ano pa yung nakalimutan ko sasabihin?
Sabi ko sa iyo kanina, sir, paano pag sinabi ko sa inyo, Senator, hindi po yan fake dahil hindi ko alam na false yung nilabas kong balita.
So you're not liable. Okay. And the thing is, in this particular measure that we are pushing, we wanted the public officials to be more accountable. Kaya doble lagi yung penalty. Because public office is a public trust.
So let's go to specifics, sir. Facebook posts and blogs, are they included in this SB 1492 or the anti-fake? Kasama ba siya?
Una po, banggitin na rin natin yung mga satirical sites, satirical shows. For example, if we are comedians and
sa Amerika, kunwari.
Saturday Night Live, di ba? It's not part of it. Yung mag-like ka lang, mag-forward ka ng news because you're concerned with your family, your loved ones sa Facebook, ni-like mo or sinishare mo dahil, for instance, mayroong balita na hindi maganda at sinishare mo dahil to caution your loved ones, you're not liable, no? But if you are a news outlet, and again, this is fake news. So, dito pumapasok yung gray area na pinag-usapan ng last hearing. When you're a blogger, and doon ko nga lang narinig yung ang daming mga henyo nung nakaraang hearing.
Secretary. Ay, si Senator Nancy Bina yan. It's high time.
Ang dami na kung ano-ano na hindi kami news outlet.
We're bloggers.
Etc. So we really have to look into it.
So wala pang
wala pang kasunduan dyan.
Because it was Senator Nancy Binay who, kasi nga there were criticisms at meron din, obviously may pro ASEC MOCA, may anti-ASEC MOCA. So it was very clear when Senator Nancy Binay said this during that hearing. Balikan po natin yon.
We're bound by RA 6713 and under Section 4, nakasulat doon na we cannot use the excuse of doing things in her capacity as a private individual. So parang malinaw na at this point in time, ASEC Uson, hindi mo na pwedeng ihiwalay yung pagiging blogger mo sa pagiging ASEC mo. So I guess, di ba, para malinaw na talaga, baka it's high time for you to decide kung gusto mo maging blogger o kung gusto mo maging ASEC.
I need to ask you directly, is ASEC MOCA Uson, yung meron siyang sariling opinion, meron siyang sariling blog. Her defense is, I've had this ever since and people really, ang dami ko, milyon-milyon ang aking followers. Dapat ba itigil na niya yung blog niya?
Somehow, a majority of what Senator Nancy said, I agree. Because when you become a public servant, there's so much responsibility. For example, remember that issue sa BOC, a certain, I think Miss Anderson called the Speaker of the House, whatever word.
Si Speaker Alvarez, dahil may pinapasok daw na tao si Speaker sa BOC.
I think when you're a public servant, you become different. The level of accountability becomes higher. And you cannot just say na I've been doing this for quite a long time, etc. No? But on the other end, Pinky, when you talk about yung sabi mo nga, yung blogging and news outlet, yun ang medyo kailangan pang pagpaigtingin namin doon sa Kongreso.
So wala pa tayong, there's no decision there yet?
Not yet. Wala pang klaro, but I think we'll get there, and hopefully nga this particular measure that we are pushing will be passed.
So when I ask you about ASEC MOCA Uson having a blog, what is your answer to that? Do you accept it, or is it Tama ho ba para sa inyo o mali?
It would be weird for me to say na stop blogging. Kasi, di ba, but it would not be right for her to blog about something na affected yung work niya. You know what I'm saying? So you have to draw the line. I agree with what Senator Nancy is saying. Somehow you have to make that decision. If you continue blogging and taliwas dun sa job mo. For example, kung nag-vlog ka na hiwalay dun sa sinabi ng presidente, paano yun? I don't think it's right.
Yeah, but malabo po yun.
But there are times, Pinky, even if you look at the statements of the secretaries of this administration, sometimes they're totally different from the president's statements. For me, it's weird. I don't think it's acceptable.
Right. Yeah, but we're not bloggers. We're talking about bloggers. So you believe Senator Nancy saying that she, or anybody for that matter, should decide if you're part of government, be in government. If you're a blogger, stay a blogger. Is that what you're saying, sir?
What I'm saying is you can still be a blogger, but do not cross the line. For example,
yeah, but that line is. I can't tell what that line is. I don't.
And
even
if you
see
can't tell that line, then you have to decide to give it up.
All right. We'll be taking a short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Coming up, how far can the Senate go in uncovering the truth behind Horacio Atio Castillo III's death? Senator Joel Villanueva tells us more after the break. And later, an under-the-sea experience you wouldn't want to miss. Take a glimpse of Europe's first underwater restaurant.
So we asked that question to PCOO. When do you say na she crossed the line? He couldn't answer.
Yun na nga, kasi it's also subjective.
No, but if it's not clear nga, then she has to let go of blogging.
If we just talk.
For example, if she's blogging food or
Unrelated.
hotels, diba? Why would you stop?
Yeah, but we, I only use ASEC Uson as an example kasi siya yung parang sentro nung pinag-uusapan nun.
Aside from, not single her out.
Hindi naman, aside
yung
from
kabilang
sila
side
RJ.
din, baka sabihin naman yung kabilang
Sila
side
Edwin
kakampi.
nandun
Hindi
din.
kakampiyon.
No. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, what you're saying is, if it's not politics or government, you can blog. Parang ganun ang sinasabi mo. Pero pag politics or gobyerno, wag ka na mag-blog.
Somehow, or maybe puro positive lang kung ano yung ginagawa lang ni Presidente, exactly what he's doing. Don't add spice into it. Diba, the moment you add spice, like, sinabi, galit si Presidente sa isang tao, dinagdagan mo, minura mo, etc. Hindi na yun.
I got it. Okay.
I think
So para ka lang spokesperson ng Presidente, parang ganun, pero sinusulat mo lang.
Somehow,
Parang
yeah.
ganun.
Yeah.
Ikaw si Secretary Abella na nagbablog.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to hazing. Two suspects. Suspects ba sila yan? No? Suspects na ba sila, Sam?
Yeah. Basahin natin yung gusto mo, yung mga finailan.
Hindi, dami naman. 14?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Huwag na.
17 haba eh.
Pero yung mom niya, separate obstruction of justice, yung Trangia.
Si Mami ni Ralph Trangia. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Senator Joel Villanueva. Sir, during the hazing hearing, dun lumabas yung chat among supposedly members of the frat. No? Ang daming lumabas na kwento doon sa chat na yon sa FB Messenger. But very recently, sir, there were two suspects who were saying that Atio may have died of pre-existing conditions.
Come on, Pinky. If you look at the picture and go around the country and ask any Tom, Dick, and Harry, how do you think he died? I mean, no one would tell you na because of heart attack. Pag ginawa ko sa kanila yung ginawa nila dun sa bata, hindi ka ba ha-heart attackin dun? It's a mockery of our justice system na, alam mo yun, para magpalusot. even the mother says he used to play football at healthy itong bata. Pangalawa, what is disgusting about this counter affidavit is the fact that during the executive session, si Solana was talking. He was mentioning all these names. Tapos ngayon, baligtad na. Kaya nanggigigil na rin ako dyan Pinky, no? Tapos another...
Ikaw nagsabi nung salitang bumaliktad. Yun ba yung bumaliktad, no? Why do you think, in the event it's true, your perception
Well,
of bumaliktad siya?
after he had the chance to talk again with his brads, after... Well, during the executive session, he was with this lawyer, Tapos even the lawyer siguro, nag-iba na ng statement. Ang pinaka nakakainis, and he got the ire of every member of the Senate, is yung sabi niya magka-counter affidavit siya once the preliminary investigation mag-start. Pero ang nangyari, twice na nag-PI, hindi pa rin siya nagbibigay ng affidavit. Kaya nga, it will be interesting in the next hearing, no? The fact that there are counter affidavits, I think on October 30, may magsasubmit pa ulit. Another set of affidavits. So by the time na we resume the public order hearing, I don't think any one of them can invoke again their right against self-incrimination.
That's where I wanted to go, sir. Paano ho ba yun? Kasi in a number of hearings na from before that we've covered, that's always been invoked, the right against self-incrimination.
The good thing about our chair, si Chairman Ping Lacson, he has vast experience.
Sabi niya, you can only use it to incriminate yourself, to not incriminate yourself, but not other people.
Wala pang kaso, no? But simple no, Pinky? For example, tanungin kita, ito bang kotse na ito na nakarehistro sa'yo, which is a public document, tatanong ko sa'yo, is this yours? Sasabihin mo sa akin, I invoke my... I mean, ang gulo no? And during the hearing, lumabas din, for instance, yung sino yung willing magpa-DNA, sino yung hindi. Klaro na kung sino yung kasama dun sa hazing, sa initiation rights, at sino yung hindi.
It was Senator Ping who said, para sa akin, siya yun nagsabi nun, di ba? Yung mga sinabing oo, mukhang wala kayong kasalanan dito.
Easily you can
distinguish
right away.
But do you think, sir...
And I feel bad for them, Pinky. I just have to say this, being part of the Tomasian community. Kami rito, sa Tomasian community, we're disgusted and embarrassed by the fact that dinaan ko na nga lang sa biro nung last hearing na di na nga kami manalo ng isang game sa UAAP. Tapos, and we're not used to it. The more na we are not used to having this rascals in the Tomasian community. Tapos,
it's really, that's what you call them, rascals.
Sorry, Pinky, but I just feel bad. And every time I look at the parents of Acho, the Tomasian community, we know our virtues are, the Tomasian spirit. I'm not a Catholic, but I embrace Tomasian values. And for us to look at this, the chat messages, di ba? Yung obstruction of justice, yung perjury, and all that, coming from the elders of the fraternity, coming from the, supposedly we will be producing lawyers in the country, and you are part of it, you're accomplice to this kalokohan. So, yun yung panawagan natin na linisin natin to, and bumalik tayo doon sa Tomasian values na we have been embracing for quite a long time, since 1611.
Sir, just very quickly, yung driver, wala na po tayong oras, the driver supposed to be of that red pickup. What do you think should be, dapat ho ba siyang tawagan?
I think we invited him in the next hearing to shed light into this, and again...
Could he be a witness?
Yeah, he could be because he was there, he knows saan dinala at bakit doon dinala. Ang ano ko lang is I don't know if he was there inside the frat library during the initiation.
Yun yung hindi pa alam kung paano siya nakarating talaga doon. All right. As a last topic, sir, a minute left. Marawi crisis, tapos na po. How do you feel about it, and do you plan to visit? Because I understand that Senator Gringo Honasan formed the committee. Senator Zubiri want to go to Marawi and check it out.
Yes, actually, our seatmates, Senator Zubiri, Angara, Senator JV, and Sherwin and I wanted to go there. and to evaluate and assess the situation. Every time I hear the 5 billion peso rehabilitation budget, lahat kami parang it's too small to rebuild this great city of Marawi. I think right now we have to start rebuilding. Nung ko pa sinasabi during the convening of 2 congresses na you have to put someone there, a rehabilitation czar, para meron tayong point person, no? Sino sa economic, sino sa social, sino sa housing, sino sa education, sino sa psychosocial, etc.
Just like a Yolanda Czar back then. That was Senator Ping Lacson, wasn't it?
But give him a lot of powers and also budget.
Do you have anyone in mind to be the czar for Marawi? Meron
Ako lagi ko sinasabi lang, maraming pwedeng konsultahin sa Senado. You have Senator Ping, who used to be the Yolanda Czar, and Senator Gordon, who is also Red Cross chair.
And what do you think? Sino kayang pwede?
I give it to the president as long as pagkakatiwalaan niya. Because you're gonna give powers eh.
Okay. Senator Joel Villanueva, sir, maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Thank you.
Good luck, sir.
Appreciate it.
And good health to you dahil nga alam ko.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. This is the source on CNN Philippines. Still to come. This restaurant can withstand variable sea conditions, but most of all, it can give you the ultimate underwater dining experience. That's for today's In Focus. That we will be debt-ridden. I'm going to tell you something.
The 0.01 to 0.01 to point 0.01 to 0.10 sa ODA sa Japan, 40 years. Let's compare it.
0.01 to 10 ba? 2.10?
0.01 to 10.
2.1, oo.
2.1, yeah.
Ah, yeah.
40 years. Oh, ito. Tapos, they choose 3. Ano yung...
We're live on Facebook, ah.
The idea, yeah, I don't care. The idea of not going through the Senate and the tedious way of yung sa ano, di ba? Yung sa procurement, na you give the president the power. Kasi nga, ibibid pa rin yan. That's the idea. That's why you're giving it to the president, di ba? To the executive. Now, how can you say there's a bidding when China says, oh, ito may 3 na kaming napili, kayo na lang mamili dyan. Eh di yung 3 na yun, mag-uusap lang yun eh. O sa'yo sa...
Ikaw sa Luzon, ikaw sa Visayas,
sa'yo sa ports, ako sa airport, ikaw sa roads. O di tapos na boxing. Tapos na boxing.
So what do you plan to do about that?
Ako, let's scrutinize it.
Time now for today's In Focus here on The Source. Would you like to experience dining while underwater? Well, if you'll be in Europe, you'll be in Europe in 2 years pa, you may just get the chance to do so. Construction for Europe's first underwater restaurant begins next year at the southernmost point of Norway's coastline. It will stand on the seabed 5 meters below the surface with thick walls designed to withstand the most variable sea conditions. The project's lead architect says future customers will be in for a dramatic experience of how the restaurant links nature and land. Outside of opening hours, it will also double as a marine biology research center with planned experiments to study the behavior of marine life through shifting seasons. The restaurant will be completed by early 2019. 2019 pa. Wow. Punta ka ng Europe ng 2019.
Norway.
Thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb.